Liberation greetings to all and sundry, my people of southern Cameroons, dear viewers from the rest of the world. Today is Monday. This is the 24th day of the month of January 2022. I'm bringing updates today to what happened in Yaounde, the capital city of La République du Cameroon, breaking yesterday, Sunday, January 23, at a nightclub in the neighborhood of Bastos. We have read a lot of literature and listened to, a lot of interviews from government officials from La République du Cameroon with, in some instances, a lot of contradiction. I've been talking to a lot of people in the city of Yaounde, and finally today, I was able to reach some neighbors to the specific Lives nightclub where this incident occurred in the neighborhood of Bastos. And the collection that I get from these neighbors has got nothing, nothing at all to do with the official version that we are getting from the government of Cameroon. And this is why I'm coming here today to talk about this update for the sake of our people who are in the capital city of La République du Cameroon, Yaoundé. My people of the southern Cameroons and any other citizen of the world who is based in Yaoundé, we have to understand that things have changed. Yaoundé is not the same city that it was before. Like I pointed out in my broadcast of yesterday, there are several interest groups anxious to see Yaoundé in total disarray, anxious to break the peace in Yaoundé because everyone is restless with respect to the transition that is expected to happen in that country at any moment from now, or rather any moment from now. As I pointed out yesterday, there is the buzz that is really angry that a lot of political prisoners belonging to opposition parties they sympathize with are in the dungeons of La République du Cameroon. There are also those among them who feel that even Amazonian, southern Cameroonian political prisoners should be released to make it easy for them so that during the post-Biya era, they can attempt to realize a pipe dream, that of continuing to perpetuate the stay of southern Cameroonians within the confines of that country as second-class citizens. At the same time, there are those from the north, from the Grand North. By the Grand North, I mean the Adamawa, the North, and the Far North, who have continued to insist that it is their birthright to take power after Mr. Paul Biya quits. Of course, we listened to Mr. Usman May, who made that clear, and we've also had time to hear Gibai Gatama, who is the leader of an organization known as 10 Million de Nordistes, who has continued to make it clear that the North-South axis must be respected because they feel that Mr. Amadou Ahidjo, the former president of that country, handed power over peacefully to Mr. Paul Biya on the understanding that after Mr. Paul Biya, power will go back to the North. So for that reason, right now, they don't appreciate even for 1 second a movement that is born being called Mouvement des Franquistes, which is trying to promote the notion that after Mr. Paul Biya should come his son Frank Biya. Because of this, the whole place, everyone is edgy. And my people of the southern Cameroons, if you are not careful, you may find yourself in the crossfire. This is why I've continued to come here and to point out that the time for you to begin considering going back home is now. A lot of things are happening. And so the neighbors will live, just blocks away from Life's nightclub, have confirmed to me that they heard 3 Powerful explosions before the fire. And they are not convinced that this has got anything to do with fireworks inside the nightclub. They are not convinced. And this corroborates the information I've had from internal security sources indicating to me that all the discourse we're having from the government is false. And then again, let's get back to the figures. The government of Cameroon yesterday said 16 fatalities and 8 people wounded. But take a look at the picture circulating on social media of family members of those who are injured, who are in the various hospitals. And at one hospital establishment, you can find as many as 60, 70 different families waiting to get information about what is happening to their loved ones who are interned in that hospital. I ask yourself, are all of those people here for 8 people? And mind you, the government said that 8 people were broken into, different health units. This is just to let us know the gravity of what happened in Yaounde, and that the government of La République du Cameroon, of course, is struggling to conceal because they want to fool the world, as they've always done, that everything is under control, and so they is really moving on very effectively. And we all know that this is not true. There is not even the least inkling of truth, related to this. We noticed today also that while all the talks about champagne, fireworks, and all what was going on, yet another incident occurred in the same Yaounde, this time around the Omnisport neighborhood at a place called Titi Garage. But let me go back to the figures of yesterday as I was talking about. Because as far, like I said yesterday, I was informed that there were about 60 fatalities already. Today, I'm informed that there are more. And I talked to someone who was brought into me to have a conversation with me by one of my informants, who confirmed that his family alone has 4 people who, lost their lives in that incident. And their names are not among the names that are even circulating yet on social media. Don't forget, the government of Cameroon also says they fear that some foreign citizens, especially members of COCAN, definitely disappeared in that incident, and they are still struggling to identify. Yet they're telling us that they were just 16. So I'm bringing all of this to let our people know the extent of what happened and to understand that it is not exactly what La République du Cameroon is telling us that took place. And this is just so we know that the security situation in the capital city of Yaounde is not conducive for any of our citizens to be going anywhere. If you doubt it, go back to what happened today at Titi Garage. Let me play this short footage so you get a glimpse of what happened.
Yaounde on fire. Another fire, another fire. Men's. Yaounde on fire. Oh. Fire for Yaounde. Oh. Support from there don't come water finish for inside. Cameroon. Support from there come water finish. Charge for by man.
Let them finish.
Because fire is the
Yaounde on fire.
Okay, as you can see for yourselves, okay, I think everything is in order. Yes, as you can see for yourselves, that is Titi Garage. And this place that's affected is a snack bar that's attached to a hotel. So it's a snack bar hotel. Again, I have been waiting to hear exactly what the authorities are going to say about this other incident, Someone hinted me that there was an official of the Ministry of Communication saying it was a short circuit. The same thing that I said about the incident at the Bastos neighborhood, that the popping of the champagne, the crown went so hard, hit the ceiling, caused a short circuit, and then that generated some fire around the ceiling. Then when I met gas bottles, I don't know where that eventually gave way and led to what we saw. So today, another short circuit in the same Yaounde. This is around Omnisport, not far away from the way from where you have another stadium that is hosting matches for the Africa Cup of Nations. I think these incidents at places which will be called popular joints should indicate, therefore, that our people of the southern Cameroon stay away from these places. We've advised, we've called, we've said all kinds of things. Stay safe. It is in our interest to give these directives. Like I said yesterday, the intention here is not to frighten our people, not to make our people, not, live their lives, but we want them to be safe. We want you to be safe because we want all of us to march into Boya and to enjoy our new, free, vibrant, and economically strong country called the Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonia. So, my people, don't go to this joint, stay safe. We also advise that avoid the stadiums because you see, it got to a point where La République du Cameroon had to be virtually forcing people to go to the field of play, made tickets, made the fields, the entry into the field of play free of charge, and some people still decided to step out there, jump there, that they wanted to go and enjoy themselves. And then right at the Olembe Stadium, where La République du Cameroon was playing today against a Comoros Island side, that they succeeded in, disqualifying as many as 12 of their players on grounds of COVID-19 infections, including the titular goalkeeper and the other, goalkeepers. Even with that, in the end, they were unable to give them, the kind of bashing that you would expect in such circumstances. But this is what happened rather there today. Look at this. There was a stampede at the Olembe Stadium. They want to call it Paul Biya Stadium, but Mr. Biya himself has not come to terms yet with the fact that he needs to accept for his name to be attached to this stadium. But this is what happened there. As you can see in this picture, those are people giving first aid assistance to some of the people who were stampeded upon. And why? Because at some point they just had to, open the gates of the stadium because it was not filling fast enough. It was getting, not really. It was getting embarrassing that the national team will be playing and then it's not really full, so they just had to let the gate open and say, everyone, whether you bought a ticket or not, get in. And this resulted into a serious stampede, which at this moment I'm doing this broadcast has already claimed 7 lives. 7 lives. Has already claimed 7 lives. And among them, one of ours. This is him. This young magistrate. I was trying to pick up the piece of this. This young magistrate that we see on the screen here has succumbed to his wounds from the stampede at the Olembe Stadium in Yaounde. This is a man with a promising future. This is a man who ought to be alive and serve the Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, tomorrow when we break free. But he couldn't listen. He refused to listen to our words of advice because they felt that we're just making noise in the air. Because when we have intelligence, when we get information that the bars, that the Northeast, that a lot of interest groups inside La République du Cameroon were going to make life not interesting during this period of the AFCON hosting inside Yaounde, they didn't believe us. And now look at this. Really regrettable that a young man like this one His name is Ebanek, as I gathered, that he's gone. Gone too soon. Gone too soon. And why? Because he refused to listen. My people, La République du Cameroon is no longer a safe place to live in. Listen, even the president of CAF, Motsepe, could not easily have access into the Olembe Stadium today. That shows you the level of disorder and disorganization. His convoy was blocked in traffic heading to the Olembe Stadium. Even the police and all the traffic, they could not help the situation. It took so long for Motsepe to finally have the opportunity to get into the stadium. Because of this disorganization, because La République du Cameroon is so confused and focused only on filling the stadium by all means, anything you're doing there, you're exposed. Look at one of the conditions that La République du Cameroon signed up to finally be given the okay to host the AFCON was that they were going to ensure that everyone that will have access into the field of play must tender their vaccination cards to show that they were effectively vaccinated against COVID-19. At the end of the day, when you hear of stampeding to get into the field of play, when you see all what is happening there, does it tell you that such sanitary measures are taken again into account? It's the same thing that is happening in Bafoussam, the same thing that's happening in Victoria, in the southern Cameroons, where a governor has literally obliged every single civil servant or worker servant of the private sector to be present and undergo a roll call to get into the field of play, just because they want to continue with the spirit of make-believe. My people of the southern Cameroons, don't offer your life in sacrifice for things that are not worth it. This communication I'm making is to sound the alarm for all of us to know, if you are in Yaounde or in Douala or in Victoria, please stay away from all places where there are public gatherings. Please, for our security, stay away. Every responsible country will give the same directives to their citizens that are in La République du Cameroon right now. Because you want your citizens to be safe everywhere in the world. That is why, as Ambazonians, we want our citizens to be safe wherever they are. Stay away. Please, by all means, stay away and stay safe. La République du Cameroon will never tell you the truth. They will never tell you exactly what happened, because they want you to continue to carry out some of those actions that sell the notion they want to sell to the world, that life is going on normally in that country. Whereas we all know that this is not true, that it is the contrary. I asked these questions yesterday, and no one has been able to give me a response yet. Why the serious government mobilization around what happened in Bastos if it was an ordinary incident? We don't see that happen all the time. But I didn't see the same mobilization, with what just happened in Titi Garage. Although I've been told that there's going to be a number of security meetings again in the morning to talk about that incident too. But they weren't as mobilized there as they were in Bastos, because that particular neighborhood, come on, be careful. Let us stay alert, stay careful, and stay alive. My people of the southern Cameroons, I will come back anytime there's anything new to alert our people with these security measures. To God be the glory.